Opened in 1960 by Bruton Smith and NASCAR driving legend Curtis Turner, with the running of the longest stock car race in history, the World 600. Charlotte Motor Speedway closed before it would ultimately become the home track of so many NASCAR teams. Just a year after the first race, the 1.5-mile oval track was in bankruptcy, done in by a huge infield rock formation that ballooned construction costs far beyond what its two founders had forecast. 65 years later, nearly everything is different. More than 94,000 seats ring the racetrack, which was the first speedway to install lights for night racing, the first racetrack to incorporate a condominium apartment complex overlooking the racing surface, the first to build an office complex with the same view, the first racetrack to sell naming rights, and the first to open a year-round club where members can spectate during races and socialize with fellow club members at other times. Everything is different from 1960, except for one thing. Charlotte Motor Speedway still owned by the Smith family. Tonight, it's the Allstar Snowball Shuffle, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network. Welcome in to the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway ZeroX Strategy Series Season 3 All-Star Race-Snowball Shuffle. Let's take a look at the details this evening. 125 laps the distance, a 65% fuel load on board, 2 sets of tires over the wall, 1 fast repair, 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Weather-wise, we're looking at 72 degrees, a little humid tonight, 95%. Clear skies, though. 8-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temp also cool at 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Practice just about wrapped up here at the Speedway. Let's take a look here at the fast times thus far. Top of the board, it's a 15 of Vincent Short with a 29.205. Tommy Janikowski, Chris Stange, Brandon Moore, Jim Treat, the top 5 in the standings, has got just over 30 seconds remaining in the session. We're going to jump out very briefly here. Things look a little bit dark on the Speedway as far as the lighting is concerned. We're going to try and correct that, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, made a quick adjustment here so you guys can actually see what's happening on the racetrack tonight. Practice just about over. We're going to get into qualifying right away, I believe. No qualifying. I guess they've set the field a different way, so we'll get right into our starting grid. Not going to waste any more time on the pole position here tonight. The 91 of Blake Hochschild. Outside front row, it's Tommy Janikowski. Row number 2 will be Don Canwright and Benjamin Smith. Row 3 belongs to Matt Sisler, last week's winner, and Raymond Hanneman. Row 4, it's Rance Tatro and Nathan Line. Row 5, it's Kerwin Marshall and Chris Stange. Starting in the 11th position will be Jason Aranchak. 12th goes to Michael Thorne. 13th starter, it'll be the 3-6-7 of Jim Treat, with Vincent Short from Track Bar Motorsports in 14th. Juan Linares, 15th starter. 16th goes to Chris Pieria. 17th belongs to Jackson West. Brandon Moore, 18th. 19th starter will be Scott Stockel. It's a new name this season. Johnny DePasquale will start 20th. Austin Walton, 21st. Carson Youngblood will roll off 22nd. Dustin Rogerson appears to be racing here tonight. He'll show in the 23rd position with Darren Jones rounding out the field in the number 217. He'll start 24th. It's your starting grid for the All-Star race this evening. Getting ready to get things underway. Field still sits on the starting grid as we get ready to go racing here at the home of NASCAR in Charlotte Motor Speedway. Sandra Nielsen in the chat. Let's go, Johnny D. We got Dustin in the chat. Says no qualifying. They actually drew for starting positions tonight. Again, it is an all-star event. No points on the table this evening. All for bragging rights. Take home a checkered flag here tonight. We'll look at the race details yet again before we get underway. 125 laps the distance. 65% fuel on board. 2 sets of tires available over the wall. 1 faster pair available. 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish, if necessary. Pace truck heads to pit lane. Barney with the green in hand.
Green flag, green flag.
And there we go. Green flag waves. We are underway from Charlotte.
Oh, caution.
Caution already. We got trouble in the dog leg. Somebody maybe not coming up to speed fast enough. Checks up the rest of the field. First caution before we make it really across start finish. See if we can catch where this started. Looks like Don Canwright possibly. We'll see if we can find it. Yeah, that inside lane just didn't fire off. You see the 78 of Canwright there in the second row. He's checked up a ways from the leader as it is. I don't know if he missed a gear. But you see, he just doesn't go, and it stacks everybody else up in behind. You'll see it here. Chain reaction crash right out of the gate. Want to go on board here with Canwright and listen. Got stuck in first gear. Couldn't grab second gear there, so that's what triggered that one. Multiple drivers getting caught out in that. Some drivers now coming down pit lane. Brandon Moore, Carson Youngblood, Austin Walton, Rance Tatro. So the field will group back up behind the iRacing pace truck. Does appear a lot of drivers opted to roll down pit lane here, avoid some of the chaos. Pace car lights, or pace truck lights that is, are out, so we should be going green this time by, but we're really disorganized here on the backstretch. I'm not sure if they're going to get to go green here. They may have to wave this off to get the format or get the lineup correct. Brandon Moore shown in 19th, but he's the lead car in the pack. He should get a wave around. And it looks like they're going to let it go. So Moore's going to be tail end of the lead lap here as we come to green. And the field is just all over the racetrack.
Ready, green, 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 green.
All righty. Tom Janikowski, your official race leader in the number 93. Brandon Moore shown in 19th, though he leads the field. This is the battle for the lead. To the bottom of the racetrack goes the 91. Blake Hochschild, the caution comes out again.
I know, man. I think we need to start putting like an age limit on racing or something, you know?
So very quickly, 2 cautions. I'm assuming they threw this yellow for the sake of trying to get the order correct. Canwright still can't fire off. He's definitely got something going on. This very well could be tied into an issue with his hardware, whether it's an improperly mapped shift button, whether it's paddles or even a H pattern shifter, which with these cars they don't run H patterns, but something not quite right with Canwright here. Let's listen again. See, now he's stuck in 3rd gear. Yeah, Canwright's got some problems. So Matt Sisler's now going to come down and take advantage of this caution. He may just come in for some fuel. A little bit of damage, it seems, actually, on Sisler's race car. And he's going to fix it. So that was the purpose of that stop. He'll take some fuel as well while he waits. And any of you guys out there watching this stream, if you could let me know if it looks dark to you. I know we made a correction right before the race got underway. It looks dark on my end, but looking at the actual stream side, I think it looks okay. But if it looks a little dark, let me know. I'll see if we can jump out here next caution and fix it again. So back behind the pace truck. Going to try and get this one going here. Really not had any lapse in anger just yet. The first caution coming out before the field even made it past the starter stand. And then another caution for the same driver, Don Canwright, having some kind of mechanical issue. Opening start of the race here, he wasn't able to get it to shift gears, and this time it seemed to be stuck in 3rd. Luckily didn't jack up the field this time, but couldn't get going, and the delta between his pace and the green flag pace dictated that we put a caution out on the speedway for safety's sake. You'll notice some drivers out there with supporting paint schemes or decals on their race cars. Thinking about the Biff here tonight. We will be taking a silent lap on lap 16 to remember those lives lost, the Biffle family and others on board that plane from last week. Gonna catch the restart here at lap 9. This time the field looking way better than it did the last time. Front row will be Blake Hochschild and Tommy Janikowski. And the pace truck heads to pit lane. Here's Canwright will restart at the back of the field. Going to give it another go. Canwright still can't fire off. He's got to pull that thing into pit lane. Down the back straightaway, Hanneman quickly jumps out to the race lead. Hochschild back to second, Janikowski third, Nathan Lyon in fourth, Stange shown in fifth. Hanneman on the throttle, checking out already. 4/10 the advantage over the 91 of Blake Hochschild. Oh, up the racetrack. Some slowing down here. Nathan Lyon gets run into the back. That checks up the field a little bit, but we stay green. Everybody keeps ahead the right direction. Nathan Lyon, bottom of the racetrack. He's got some problems here. Not sure if something's off there with the 38 machine. Meanwhile, keep a close eye on Vincent Short. Short in the number 15, the very patriotic-looking paint scheme in that Chevrolet. Was fastest in the practice session. Banging doors right now at the number 1 of Johnny DePasquale. Some new paint schemes to try and remember this week. Meanwhile, back out front, Hanneman's lead evaporating quickly as the 91's running him down. Here comes Chris Stange, top side too. He runs in the third spot, but for how long? Crosses over, looks to the bottom of Hochschild, down the back straightaway, in position, headed down into turn number 3 for the second spot. Now sets his sights on Raymond Hanneman. Still not quite clear into the dog leg here. Lap 14 will go up on the timing tower. Caution on the speedway. Carson Youngblood in trouble. In through the grass. Carson running the number 16. Made famous by Greg Biffle. Let's see what happened with Carson just a moment ago. Third caution of the night. Looks like this is happening ahead of him. Trying to gather up who it was that got in the fence into the dog leg. Oh, there we go. The 11. 11 in the 4. Sisler saw it coming. He checked up. But Jim Treat just tried to drive it in there. Gets the 11 crossed up, and everybody else pays the price. So we are running under the caution flag. We will start lap 16 under the yellow. We should get the 1 to go. But we'll still call it as a silent lap in honor of the Biffle family and those lost last week. Fitting that this lap was run under caution. There was some discussions in the league this week about throwing a yellow specifically for that purpose. Race admins wisely deciding against it just for the fact they didn't want to throw off strategy simply for that fact, but we get the caution anyway. It's time for cause. We are on the 1 to go. Field getting formed up off turn number 2 here. We'll catch the green flag about a half a lap from now. Front row, we take the green flag. It'll be Raymond Hanneman and Chris Stange. Then Blake Hochschild, Tommy Janikowski, Scott Stockel, Michael Thorne, Vincent Short, Austin Walton, Juan Linares, and Jim Treat. That's your top 10. And again, keep an eye on Vincent Short. Watch that 15 Chevrolet. Track Bar Motorsports driver. Fastest in practice. Already up 6 spots as the pace truck heads to pit road.
Green flag.
Hanneman gets away, Stange in second. Hochschild, Janikowski 3 and 4 as they work off turn number 2. Kenneth Lowry in the chat here on Christmas vacation. The broadcast is amazing. Keep it up. Thank you very much for checking in and watching here tonight and for the kind words. But the caution back out. Michael Thorne in trouble now. Whatever it wasn't big, but 4 cautions already here in the first 19 laps. All for the most part, mostly small things. We have had one significant incident here. Or was it Michael Thorne? Let's see. See what we can find here. So Thorne there in the 18 gets just a little below the blue line. Seems all right now. I don't think it was him. Oh, Johnny DePasquale right hooking Jim Treat. Darren Jones will come in and get a big chunk of this as well. This is headed down into turn number 3. Watch the Haviland number 1. He turns down into the corner. All right, this looks like it may have started off of turn number 4, maybe sooner, but here, we'll watch it on board with Johnny DePasquale. Got a couple more in the stream chat here. T. Kangas, or is it TK? I don't know. Jump in the stream chat. You can see it. Thanks for checking in, guys. Well, let's get lined back up. Let's try it again. Getting set for our fourth restart of the night. Front row again. It'll be Hanneman and Chris Stage. Row 2 is Hochschild, Janikowski. Top 4 unchanged. Then Stockel and Short. Short's up a couple more spots from 8th. Last week's winner, Matt Sisler, shown in the 10th spot. Sisler's been coming on strong the last couple of weeks. Thought he had a win in the bag at Pocono Raceway a couple weeks ago, trying to make that a one-stop race. The caution bit him on that. Still brought home a top 5 nonetheless. Followed it up last week with a win. And that wasn't necessarily a strategy race. He went out there and he drove that thing to victory lane. Badger Sports in the chat. Pace truck is in. Trouble already off turn number 2. Jason Aranchak T-bones somebody.
Good job. Update on that card.
Looks like it was the 13 of Chris Pieria. And the caution out again. Take a look. Pieria in trouble already. I think he's trying to save it, but he gets crossed up here. Ranchak nowhere to go. We'll back it up a little bit further. So it looks like the 11 of Ben Smith gets involved. Looks like Pieria just came down. Wasn't quite clear. Almost had it saved. He spent half the corner trying to straighten it out. Eventually lost the battle, and Aranchak comes in and slams him. Well, we're under our 5th caution, 23 laps in here in the All-Star race. We're going to step aside briefly, take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, wrapping up our 5th caution of the night. Before we go back to green here, we'll take a look at the sponsors and thank them for their contributions this season. ZeroX Media and Design, Admin Box, Snowbelt Industries, Youngblood Racing, and Fueled Up. Thanks to all of them for helping put this show on and make this league happen. Field in turn 3, ready to get back racing. It'll be Hanneman and Stange again here on the front row. Give it another go. Base truck comes to pit lane.
Green flag.
Trouble already, and the dog leg. Youngblood still having trouble, Canwright still having trouble getting up to speed, but I don't think that was the cause of this one. Nathan Line, a little aggressive on the restart, might have gotten into the back of the 18. Might have been some connection issues there with Rance. I'm not sure. Really having trouble getting a good view of this because for whatever reason, when I try to view the 18, it does not work. Unless somebody's got the wrong car number. Well, we'll watch Nathan Line here. Back this up a little bit further. Maybe it's not Rance in the 18 car. Hard to tell. So coming up to speed for the restart. See if the field gets stacked up. Watch the outside lane. Yeah, the 18 Camry does not fire off. And that is the issue. It looks like the 18 car, I'm not sure who's in that Busch Camry, because Rance Tatro, who is assigned the number 18, is in a Ford, and I think he's actually out of the race. It's Michael Thorne. Thorne should have the 14, so that's the issue. Okay, so we got that figured out. And it does appear Jackson West may have been DQ'd. I'm not sure if he was the start of this. Let's watch this one more time. Hopefully we can catch this before we go back green. His might have been connection related. I don't think he necessarily did anything. Well, a lot to unpack there. Sorry about trying to get the right angles on that, but it's tough to track down because I use the driver number assignment in iRacing to find the replay. And you try to match it up with what we're seeing on the track. If the paint scheme has the wrong number on it versus the assigned number, it is near impossible to try and figure that out. But somehow we managed. Took us a few minutes, but we got it handled. So it'll be lap 30 when we get the restart. Wrapping up caution number 6 of the evening. Austin Boyum in the chat says he's DQ'd. I was spectating him. Yes, I understand he was DQ'd, but if you have a recurring connection issue, iRacing may actually DQ you automatically. If you've got packet loss to an extreme, it automatically removes you from the session. Don't necessarily know if it was an admin DQ. I know Dustin's actually racing tonight, so I don't know if we'll get a response in the chat out of him on that, but nevertheless, yeah, he is out of the session. Canwright thought about coming back to pit lane. He might still be struggling with getting through the gears. Oh, and Stange doesn't fire off either. He's got a problem. What is going on here tonight? He missed a gear, spun the tires. Either way, everybody got through it okay. He just lost a bunch of ground. Stange back to P6. So Hanneman will enjoy his lead of 0.6 of a second over Blake Hochschild now. We'll see if Hochschild can run him back down. The earlier run of about 3 laps that we had, Hanneman jumped out to an early lead, and Hochschild did reel him in. Now Matt Sisler up into the 4th spot. Stange trying to cut his way back through. He runs in behind Matt Sisler in the 31. Austin Boyum says it was an auto DQ for incidents, so that makes sense too. Not sure if they have that set up or not, but that would make sense. Because in the details it says incident warning for 13 incidents. Oh, maximum of 17. Okay, there we go. Yep. Well, Austin, thanks for digging into that. Appreciate the help. Meanwhile, Tom Janikowski coming to pit lane. He has a black flag to serve. Not sure what it was for, but either way, this one's going to sting. Tom Janikowski, fast early, will take a slow ride down pit lane, park it in his pit box to serve out a penalty. Michael Thorne needing to do the same, but he stops at the exit of pit lane. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe he was supposed to stop in the box and didn't. This has been an interesting one so far, folks. We've had a pretty good season. We haven't had one quite like this just yet. Sometimes the All-Star race, things get a little crazy, and we're starting to see it now as Hanneman continues to lead over Blake Hochschild by about 0.8, almost 0.8. Let's put Jason Aranchak a lap down. Sisler now up into the 3rd spot. Chris Stange following him through. Vincent Short still running in P6. He's got Austin Walton in the 9 in the tire tracks, about a couple car lengths off the back bumper. As they run down Scott Stockel. Stockel running in 5th. Scott's up a bunch of spots, 14 positions gained. Same can be said for Austin Walton and Carson Youngblood. All 3 of those drivers really marching forward from their starting positions tonight. Starting to get a long run in here. Good to see. Everyone's calmed down just a bit. Walton takes a look to the inside. Nothing doing, but Short drives it real deep into the corner. Really runs down Scott Stockel. Closes the gap considerably. Scott drives out of the corner a little bit better, but not by much. Vince is gaining some ground. Meanwhile, the 16 of Carson Youngblood changes lanes. Looks like he's going to follow Vincent Short, or maybe the other way around. Austin Youngblood's taking advantage. He gets to the inside of Short. This will be the battle for the 6th spot. Walton still side by side with Vince, trying to take that spot. Vincent Short battling with everything he's got to keep him behind. Short gets clear again. Hanneman checking out, almost a full second to the race lead now. Now battle for second. Sisler hounding Blake Hochschild just a few feet off the back bumper of the 91 into turns 3 and 4. Sisler takes the high line and he'll put the hammer down. Powers around the outside. Can he complete the pass? Coming down to the stripe. He's got a nose in front as they cross the line. Sisler to second, but still not quite clear. It's clear now. Sisler found some grip in that middle lane. So move last week's winner up to the 2nd position. Hochschild losing some ground now as Stange puts some pressure on the 91. He'll take the 3rd position, but he'll do it on the bottom. Gotta wonder if Hochschild is trying to switch up lanes here to see if he can find some speed. Closing the door off turn number 2 is Stange. Crossover from Hochschild. At least he's thinking about it. Not enough momentum to complete it. Austin Walton now battling with Carson Youngblood. This all happening behind Vincent Short. Vince has got some serious drive off. Really put some distance on Youngblood. Now Brandon Moore working his way through as Walton scrapes the wall. Keep an eye on the 3 machine. He's going to be fast. He is fast. He's cutting his way through. He's up 10 spots from 18th. Side of Carson Youngblood. Great battle here in the of the top 10 between Short, Youngblood, and Brandon Moore. Moore's right there, threads the needle between 16 and the wall. Oh, real close, the 16 of Moore. Sorry, the 3 of Moore pinched into the wall just a bit off exit of turn 4. 49 laps in, we continue to watch this battle for the back half of the top 10, 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's going to be a 4-car battle as Walton now closes back into the back bumper of the 3 machine. Out front, Hanneman continues to lead, but Matt Sisler closing in. Deficit now 0.8 of a second. Youngblood now trying to take the spot from Vincent Short yet again. Can't get it done. Short just enough, just faster than the 16 right now. Crosses the line, stays clear. Now Brandon Moore to the inside of Youngblood. Drivers in the wall off of turn 4. At least Short and Youngblood both pancaking the outside wall. These guys are giving it 10/10 right now. 52 laps in, about 10 shy of halfway. Blake Hochschild falling back. He becomes part of this mix. Things getting a little more congested. Carson Youngblood. A little connection issue for a moment. Chris Stange pulls it down into pit lane. He'll come down for service. Blake Hochschild will do the same. So under green flag conditions, Chris Stange, Blake Hochschild, both going to come down potentially for 4 tires and fuel. Left side's in the air on the Stange machine as Hochschild comes to a stop in his pit stall. A couple more drivers coming down. Race leader Raymond Hanneman, Matt Sisler are going to join him as well. 4 tires and fuel for Chris Stange, same for Hochschild. Hanneman and Sisler now in pit lane. Sisler misses the box, has to back it up here. That's going to cost him. Vincent Short now inherits the top spot. His green flag stop's now underway here at Charlotte. Hanneman down 14.75, a fast stop for Raymond. Sisler down and away 16.60. Lost a lot of time there with that miss into the pit box. Now that battle of the back half of the top 10 we were talking about, well, now it's for the race lead. Vincent Short out in front, Youngblood second, Walton third, Brandon Moore is fourth. Short in clean air, now starting to check out a little bit. He's got almost 2/10 on Youngblood, but again, green flag stops coming soon. Last time Short came down was lap 15. It seems like every caution they were taking an opportunity to get fuel. Gets him a little off cycle. Also, you'll see we had 2 drivers come down, then 2 more drivers came down to pit. As it stands right now, only 12 cars on the lead lap, so this really gets everybody in a less congested pit road entry. We're not going to have half the field come down all at the same time, so that's making things a little safer for those that need to come down and pit. It's Youngblood losing connection again briefly. Austin Walton will come down and pit. Got Caden Marshall Hunt says go number 4. Thanks for checking in. So Austin Walton, right side tires going on. First can of Sunoco race fuel in the machine. Left side tires going on as well. Second can dumped in. Walton down and away. 15-15 to stop. Now battle for the lead. Youngblood alongside Vincent Short. Down into turn number 3. They bang doors on entry. Youngblood wants the lead. Brandon Moore sits there in the 3rd spot waiting for a mistake. Got to be careful. You're close enough to take advantage, but not too close to get caught up in it. Short powers around back to the outside with the race lead, and Youngblood may drop to 3rd as Moore's going around the outside. Short way up top in the 3rd lane now, arcing the corner, has a run down the back straightaway, stays clear of Youngblood. Scrapes the wall, does Carson. Now Moore in a 2nd. Can Vincent Short hold off the 3? Oh, Brandon Moore up in the fence. Opens the door for Carson again. They're door-to-door down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Short continues to lead. When will the 15 pull down into the pits? Speaking of the 4, Kerwin Marshall running back in the 6th spot, start at 9th. Will go on board with the 4. Oh, that race car is tight. Sisler goes around on the bottom. These are drivers with fresh tires going around Kerwin Marshall. Not on the lead lap as of yet. Got a lot of drivers off cycle now. And coming to pit road, Kerwin Marshall. Couple laps past halfway. We're going to let the pit cycle finish out before we go to our side-by-side, so we'll stay right with the action. Bit of an angle for the entry on Marshall's pit box there. It's going to make it for a difficult exit. Either way, he's cleanly in the box enough to get the service work done. Meanwhile, Carson Youngblood back to the 13th spot after his pit stop. Gave up to go, stop Vincent Short. Short with the lead, but for how long? Moore goes around the outside, and looks like the 15's coming to pit lane 2. Vince deep in the pit box. He'll have to back it up too. It's going to cost him. We say this so often, don't beat yourself. These races are not full distance races. 125 laps, it's 187.5 miles. You cannot afford a mistake, and Vincent Short just made a big one, overshooting the pit box. It's going to cost him some time, but let's see if he's got the pace to work his way back to the front. Meanwhile, Brandon Moore, who had just taken the race lead, he's now in pit lane. Dustin Rogerson the same. He runs 5th currently. Right side tires completed on the 3 machine. Crew around to the left side. Fuel going in. 4 tires in fuel for Brandon Moore. 15.25 seconds in the pit. Johnny DiPasquale now heads down. Chris Pieria, the new leader. He made his pit stop on lap 27. We should see him and Juan Linares come down soon as well. Oh, big time trouble. The 11 spins through pit lane. Doesn't bring out the caution, but Ben Smith with trouble, it appears, off turn number 4. No caution, but significant damage on the 11. He's off the racing surface. In real life, that absolutely would have been a yellow, and unfortunately, it would have taken out some pit crew members. Let's take a look what happened just a moment ago to the 11 of Ben Smith. I don't know what happened there. Let's back this up. I want to go on board and listen to what happened. Did he lose connection with his wheel? Yeah, he lost wheel connection. Oh man, that would have been right into the pit opening too. Would have been a brutal incident. Yeah, I think Ben lost wheel connection, but now he's driving it now, so who knows what happened there. Either way, Ben Smith now trying to get back into the pits. Has a black flag, probably for an unsafe entry. You're not kidding. He had the wheel turned for the corner and it just never straightened out. Seems to have rectified itself, but either way, Benjamin's got some work to do. May have to use the fast repair. And he's out of the car. Juan Linares now in the pits. Aaron Jones also wrapping up his pit stop. He has some damage to get fixed. See if he sits there to get it done or if he just heads back out and waits for a caution. We've been under the green flag for quite a while now. Finally got the caution demons out from underneath us. So Jim Treat now, your new leader. 73 laps complete here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are now going to take our track limits side-by-side break. Stay with us. You won't miss a minute. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Matt Sisler out in the race lead over Raymond Hanneman, which all things considered, impressive. Sisler lost almost 2 full seconds in the pits during that green flag pit cycle and still finds himself out in front. Hanneman running second, Austin Walton third, Chris Stange is fourth, Scott Stockel is in fifth. We got Robin Dunn in the chat. Cheering on the 29, I believe. I don't know if there is a 29. Maybe that's just Robin's number. Either way, thanks for watching. Raymond Hanneman in the second spot now, in view of Matt Sisler. Now that these pit stops have completed, let's take a look at that pit strategy. Sisler went 39 laps. That's his longest run on a set of tires. Hanneman went 54 laps, but they both came down at the same time. Now, keeping in mind, 54 laps, that was the initial run for Hanneman. He did not pit at all during any of those previous cautions. Sisler took a couple opportunities. Both drivers 29 laps this time. Walton went 52. Youngblood 49. Moore went 52. So Hanneman appears to have gone the furthest at 54 laps on a tank of fuel. Now, I don't know for certain that that was full distance on that tank. It could have been sooner. He might have pit for the sake of the tires. But either way, pretty consistent across the board. Looks like 49 laps to 54. About a 5-lap window across the board there. Wondering if anybody has an update on Ben Smith. I think he is out of this race, unfortunately, but he had a big-time moment off turn 4. Seemed like the wheel just stopped working. Got stuck in a left turn. He hit that first pit wall there that they've added over the last couple of years. But even after the contact, it was still turning left. He ended up crashing into pit lane, into an occupied pit box, which, thank goodness, it's a sim. We've said that a few times here in these races that we've called, watching some of these crashes, like, wow, that would have hurt, that would have been bad. Well, it doesn't get much worse than that, crashing into an occupied box. That would have been horrible. Chris Stange now on pit lane. Chris Stange was very fast early. He's mired back in 14th right now. He'll come in and bolt on a set of tires. This might be his final stop of the race, given the amount of time we have left. And that max distance that Hanneman had of 54 laps. Right now, he's well within that window. So this gives him an opportunity here. Looking at the fall off, the lap time fall off, just by comparison, Sisler pitted lap 54. His last lap was 30.5. His fastest lap was a full second faster than that. So now with Stange out there, yes, he's further back in 16th, but he's out there on new tires, so he's going to be gaining a second a lap, roughly, on everybody ahead of him. And he's done pitting. Unless we get a caution, he does not need to stop again. They only had, I think, 2 sets of tires over the wall as it is, so his final set is on. This could be a strategy play for Chris Stange to kind of steal a win here. He had pace early, but sometimes things happen and you got to make other adjustments. I think Stange has done just that, put himself in the best position he can to still try and win this thing. So that's the question now. When do the leaders decide to come down and pit? Hanneman in second. You know he's fast. He's got the ability to run him down. Last lap for Hanneman was a 30.54. It's about a half-tenth off Matt Sisler's pace. But here comes Matt Sisler. He's going to do the overcut. He'll come down and pit first. Now, if I'm Raymond Hanneman, I'm going to come down the next lap. You got to. Otherwise, Sisler's just going to put more and more distance on the 85. Hanneman now out in front. We'll see if he comes down for his last set of tires. Sisler cleanly in the box this time, took his time. Might have lost a little bit, but didn't have to back it up. So 4 tires and fuel for Matt Sisler. He is done for the day as far as pit stops are concerned. He'll get back out. Meanwhile, Hanneman's still out on the racetrack. And he went by, so we'll see how long Hanneman runs this set down. Really glad to see these guys cleaned it up, man. That was, had me nervous there for a while, but it's been a great race since then. And I forget who said it earlier on in the stream chat, talking about cold tires, cold track. Cold track I'm not as concerned with. 77 degrees. Yeah, it's cool, but that really gives you a lot of grip. I think it's more about tire pressure and tire temperature than anything else. Those low pressures on the initial green flag runs. Race car can be a handful until they really come up to temp. That tire pressure builds and the tire effectively grows a little bit. Typically, they'll set these tire pressures very, very low early on in the run, knowing that they're going to grow and expand throughout the course as they build heat. And once that happens, you kind of get the optimal grip. We've also got the field pretty well spread out now, so that's helped with a little bit of congestion. So Hanneman with a 1.2 second advantage over Austin Walton. Walton's got 4 lap newer tires underneath him. His last lap 3/10 quicker than Hanneman. So following up on Matt Sisler, he's shown 12th, 1 lap down. His last lap a 29.84. To Hanneman's 30.62. And here he comes to pit lane. Need a perfect pit stop here. Clean entry, clean exit. No mistakes. And Hanneman misses the box. This is going to cost him big. Has to back it up. Remember, Sisler did the same thing on the previous cycle of pit stops. This time it happens to Hanneman. He's going to have his hands full. He's got work to do, but now he's going to be on the tire advantage. And that moves Carson Youngblood to the race lead. His pit stop lasted lap 64. Taking a look at the strategies again for the leaders. Youngblood could probably go another 20 laps before he'd have to make his last pit stop, but I don't know if that's going to be the right call. We'll see if he stays out. Austin Walton still in second. 40 laps on this set. Brandon Moore, 31. Short, 31. Rogerson, 30. Line, 31. Youngblood off at turn number 4 will cross start finish and start the 150th mile of tonight's race. Brandon Moore and Walton battling. Moore up to second. Moore with 9 lap pressure tires than Walton. You see the difference there. Walton had a good exit down the backstretch, though. Kerwin Marshall just finishing up his pit stop. He's going to be kind of the fly in the ointment between these two. Going to allow Moore to get away, and Kerwin Marshall's going to haul butt around the 3 here in just a moment because he's got brand new sticker tires. 25 laps to go from Charlotte. Youngblood still leads. Sisler up to 7th, but he's still showing a lap down. Again, last cycle of pit stops do need to get taken care of. If the caution comes out, that changes things a bit, but Sisler's in a position where he's the first car 1 lap down. He would get the lucky dog, be back on the lead lap. Again, still in the 7th position, so not out of this yet by any means. A caution wouldn't kill him. Austin Walton now on pit lane for his final pit stop. $14.95 was the stop for Walton. He'll come back out. Youngblood with a 1 second plus margin back to Brandon Moore. .23 to go. Now I think if I'm Youngblood here, I don't know if he's got a second set still laying over the wall. Either way, you're going to have to run this all the way to the end. I think he's got to hope for a caution, because if he does have that set sitting over the wall and the yellow comes out, he's going to be in a really good position. Now 4 cars on the lead lap. Unbelievable. Crazy strategies here tonight. Everybody kind of doing their own thing, which tends to be the case each and every week, but once in a while you get those races where everybody pits at about the same lap. A lot of guys with a lot of different options tonight. That's what we like to see. That's why they call it the strategy series. Brandon Moore really closing in, but no, Youngblood's going to come to pit lane. So coming to 20 laps to go, Youngblood will come down and pit. Let's see if he's got a set of tires laying. Based on the timing, I'm going to say probably does. There they go, right side tires going on the number 16 machine. Crew around to the left side. Up in the air it goes, 4 tires and fuel enough to get them to the end. Youngblood down and away. Slow on the exit just a bit. Brandon Moore will come down and do the same. That'll cycle Dustin Rogerson to the race lead. Rogerson, the league owner, the league admin. It's an all-star race, no points on the line. He said, you know what, I'm going to race it tonight. And now he's leading. Right sides only for Brandon Moore. Dustin Rogerson with the race lead late here at Charlotte. Still needing to make his final stop. Same story for Nathan Lyon. 2 more drivers to finish up this green flag pit cycle. You see a lot more drivers back on the lead lap. Matt Sisler back on the lead lap, shown in the 3rd position. He will re-inherit the top spot. And as it stands right now, Matt Sisler enjoying a 3 seconds advantage over Raymond Hanneman. Will this end up like Pocono, where the caution comes out and spoils it? Or will he make it 2 in a row? Picked up the win last week. How amazing would it be to seal it up with an all-star win? Back out to the race lead, Dustin Rogerson, biding his time. I know Dustin, if he's got a set of tires sitting as Nathan Lyon comes to pit lane. How cool would that be for Dustin to steal the all-star win with a one-off race? Better be careful. The rest of the league might mutiny. So Nathan Lyon, right side tire change for the 38. Oh, Rogerson tried to pit and missed the entry. What did I say earlier? Don't beat yourself. Dustin Rogerson, trying to get back on the track, and he hammers the wall. He gets behind the wall on the Roval, and he will disconnect and go straight to pit lane. Things went from bad to worse in a hurry, and Matt Sisler takes over the race lead. Heavy damage on the Dustin Rogerson machine. We'll take a quick look at it with 15 to go here. So an off-road excursion for Dustin Rogerson. Tried to get to pit lane, tried to get all he could, got more than he bargained for, and missed entry. Right here it's okay, but he gets to that first turn 1 of the Roval, hits the bump, car gets all crossed up, and I don't think he could do this again if he tried, but almost ends up into a parked car. It's been that kind of night. Dustin Rogerson, a little late, man. He says, don't show that. Too late. I had to. You don't see that every day. Tough break, though, man. That was interesting. So Matt Sisler, with 13 to go, enjoying 2.2 seconds of an advantage over Raymond Hanneman, but Hanneman closing in and running faster laps by about 0.2. 30-11 for Raymond Hanneman, a 30-32 for Sisler the last time by. Dustin goes, yeah, I was just trying not to bring out the caution. Good story. Hanneman chops away another 0.3 almost the last lap with 12 to go. He's got time. Last week, Sisler battled with Jason Blaney, who is conspicuous by his absence here tonight. Can he hold off Raymond Hanneman? Hanneman quicker still, a 10.5 plus, 11 laps to go. Deficit closing down to less than 2 seconds. Hanneman clear of Brandon Moore. Moore right on the tire tracks of the 85 machine. This is a battle for position. Moore a little bit slower, but right there. Sisler wants to see this in the rear view. 2 of these guys battling for the spot. Moore takes a look to the inside. Hanneman up the racetrack just a bit. Nowhere for Moore to go just yet, but he's right there. I think he's got a little bit faster race car. He definitely has newer tires by about 10 laps, but remember, Moore took right sides only. 10 laps to go for Matt Sisler. Moore is very fast from the center off, right to the back bumper of Hanneman off turn number 2. Somehow these guys are still running down Matt Sisler. Moore now pushes the 85 into turn number 3. Matt Sisler with about 4 lap older tires than Raymond Hanneman, but right now, nothing to worry about. Hanneman back by 1.4 seconds. Brandon Moore is coming as well, though it could be any one of these 3 drivers here, but a caution would change up everything. You got to wonder, is there anybody else out there with a set of tires sitting over pit wall? Seven laps to go, deficit still 1.2. Moore trying to find a way around Hanneman. Both drivers running faster lap times than the leader. Sisler on the oldest set of tires of the 3. Brandon Moore with the freshest set, but again, Wright's only changed on that last stop. Bought himself some track position and gave himself an opportunity. Now 6 laps to go. Board with Brandon Moore. They've chopped a lot down in that race lead. It's 8/10. A very slow lap for Matt Sisler. A 30.60 the last time by. A 30.24 and a 30.20 on his second and third. Lift for Moore, wants the nose in dirty air. 4 laps to go and they're there. 6/10, now half a second back to second place. Second and third running down Matt Sisler. 3.5 laps to go. Now they've caught the draft of the number 31 of Matt Sisler. The nerves have to be coming into play here for Matt Sisler, trying to hold off 2 of the best. Two and a half laps to go. A little bit of lap traffic coming into play. Will they yield to the leaders? Sisler dips the left sides below the blue line just a touch. The 91 of Hochschild up the racetrack through the dogleg. Tough spot to catch lap traffic. Sisler still on the gas. Hochschild up the racetrack. Takes away the entry for Matt Sisler. Matt still increases his lead by about a 10th. Back to Hanneman. 2 laps to go. Sisler off turn number 4, a white flag in the air. Matt Sisler started 5th on the pill draw tonight. Won the race last week, his first of the season. He's half a lap away from an all-star win. He's got a 0.4 of a second advantage. Back to Raymond Hanneman and Brandon Moore. Into turn 3. Just got to make it stick for another corner and the dogleg. Off turn number 4, coming down to the stripe. Matt Sisler's going to win the All-Star race. Hanneman comes home in the second spot, Brandon Moore third, and you gotta wonder if Hanneman hadn't overshot the pit box, would that have made the difference? Matt Sisler picking up the win, makes it 2 in a row, and an all-star race to boot. Well, it started a little rough, but that was a great ending. And with the 16 on the hood, Sisler takes it to victory lane. Be like Biff. Will we see another Polish victory lap out of the 31 machine? I think so. Sisler back around after the Polish victory lap. With that, we'll step aside. We'll get a quick break out of the way and talk to our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Matt Sisler, the victor here in the All-Star race, effectively 2 weeks in a row, parking it in victory lane. Could have been 3 if things went his way at Pocono, but either way, he's going to be thrilled about this one. We'll see if we can talk to Matt Sisler, our race winner here tonight. Pull him up into the broadcast booth. Matt, it's Steve with Track Limits. You did it again. You got a copy?
Yes, I do, Steven. Yes, we did somehow do it again.
2 in a row. It could have been 3 if things had gone a little bit better your way at Pocono, but you gotta love this one. Winning it last week for the points and picking up an all-star win here tonight in Charlotte, and you had to hold off 2 of the best to do it.
Oh yeah, they had me nervous coming down the stretch. You know, I pit to cover off Chris Stange, who's another incredible driver in here, and I knew if I got behind him, I might not get around him. Our 3 birdies, 16 Forever ZL1 was fast all night long. And I think when I got in front of Raymond, I felt I could hold him. And then when Brandon caught Raymond, I thought, okay, they're going to start fighting and I'm going to be able to take it easy. And then that gap just kept coming down. And I was getting really nervous, but like we got to 2 laps to go, I think, and it was half a second. I felt like I can just put dirty air on their nose and defend, and luckily they never really got close enough to make a move. And yeah, awesome to pick up go 2 in a row, pick up an all-star win. Really not much else to say.
Well, it was an impressive drive. Again, a 5th place starting position based on the pill draw here tonight. So you had that advantage early, had a good starting position, didn't have to worry about track position entirely. But pit strategy, a little mistake, missing the pit box earlier on in the race. But you kind of got that one back as Raymond Hanneman did the same thing on his final stop. Slid through the box, had to back it up. Cost him some track position. It might have been the difference maker, but either way, you still take the win here with a 0.4 of a second advantage at the line.
Yeah, I didn't even know that he slid through his box. I'm not sure if you guys caught it on Track Limits, but he came off pit road in front of me on that first stop, and he did a little bit of lawn mowing in the infield in turns 1 and 2, and I was able to just get the run and get past him on the exit, and I felt like that definitely helps to make the difference. And yeah, I mean, pit stops were going to be critical, and that Charlotte is a deceptively hard track to pit. We saw multiple drivers have problems, and luckily I wasn't one of them, and we were able to do it for Greg Biffle and bring the car home in one piece in front.
Well, you pick up the win here tonight. We don't really take a break here in this league. Next week, we're going to be Phoenix Raceway in this Gen 7 car. How do you approach Phoenix? Can you make it 3 in a row?
With some luck, probably. Phoenix is a very, very difficult track, especially with these cars, with how hard they bottom out across that transition to the apron. You have to balance risk versus reward, because I've been more in practice, but I've seen guys hit that transition too hard and just loop it and wreck, and it's going to be, like I said, risk versus reward. Phoenix is a very, like I said, it's challenging racetrack. Two completely different ends. It's not Charlotte, it's not Kansas, where the corners are basically the same in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you got to have your car right, you got to have the luck on your side, and got to also have speed. And we'll see if we have that speed next week.
Well, certainly looking forward to it. Phoenix is a very unique racetrack. It can be a fun one to watch for certain. Matt, congratulations, man. 2 weeks in a row, all-star win. Who do you want to thank?
Well, first off, just send my thoughts and prayers to everybody involved in the awful crash that claimed Greg Biffle and his family. Nobody wanted to hear that, and it was a real shock for me sitting at work finding out about that as it unfolded. So just my thoughts and prayers to them. My awesome sponsor, 3 Birdies Golf Company, for letting me do this, letting me put the 16 Forever logo on the hood. They still have the free shipping, all orders over 100 right now, heading up for Christmas. So if anybody's looking for something, they make really comfortable stuff. I'm wearing one of their polos, or one of their tees right now. Got to thank Dustin putting on this league. It's been a joy to join here. And last but not least, all my other sponsors: Coke Zero, Nitro Trucking, Adrian College, know I'm probably missing somebody, but last but not least, you, Steve, you and everybody at Track Limits for always doing an awesome job with the broadcasts. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and glad I got to do it a couple weeks in a row. We'll see if we can't make it 3 next week in Phoenix.
All right, Matt. Well, thanks for the kind words. Congratulations again. Good luck next week.
All right, thank you very much, man. Take care.
It's Matt Sisler, a race winner here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Next, we'll talk to the 85 of Raymond Hanneman, get his take on things and how this race wrapped up. Raymond, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got us?
Got a copy.
Raymond, congratulations, man. A second-place finish. I know it doesn't mean a whole lot as far as points are concerned because this is the All-Star race. You wanted to park that thing in victory lane. You had the pace there late. Maybe holding off Brandon Moore might have been the difference maker. Maybe it was sliding through the pit box. But walk us through the closing laps of your race. What, in your mind, was going to be the difference into who won this race tonight?
If I didn't mess up my pit stops, I was a rookie for total of 10 minutes tonight, and it was on exit my first pit and on entry on my second pit because I backed up and I didn't back up far enough. So I think that all of that just compiling together and trying to get through that dirty air with all the lap traffic and everything like that, it's took its toll on me tonight in the 85 machine, and weren't able to do it. But the P2 is still good, so I'll take it.
P2, a little bit of bragging rights, taking that into Phoenix Raceway. Well, we're back to points racing next week. How do you feel about Phoenix Raceway and your chances of maybe parking that thing in Victory Circle?
Second half of the season, I'm looking really forward to. A lot of these tracks, they cater to my type of driving, so very excited to race Phoenix before I head to Toronto for New Year's and whatnot. So it'll be fun to do one last race on the sim and then get packed up. And I'm excited for that qualifying. So there's a bunch of different lines you can do for qualifying, and I mean, we saw it here with the dirty air tonight. Well, it's just 10 times worse in Phoenix, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Looking forward to it, Ray. Congratulations, second place here tonight. Who do you want to thank?
I got to thank the guys over at Fueled Up, let me race with them and being part of the team. You know, Brandon, Chris, everyone's been a really good teammates. You know, Jason, Nathan, Johnny DiPasquale, everybody over there is, I can't thank them more than enough for, letting us race and be part of the team that we're in. I got to thank Dustin for putting on the amazing league, you for broadcasting every single week, all the fans that come and watch, all the supporters that I have. Appreciate you guys. Without you guys, I wouldn't be doing it, so you guys keep pushing me and I appreciate that. Gotta thank the girlfriend, gotta thank all the sponsors, Eternal Racing, Triple Stint, iStats, Clark's Heating and Cooling, over on the other paint scheme I usually run. So just too many thanks to say right now, and I'm just happy with the P2 tonight.
All right, Ray, well, job well done, man. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week.
Awesome, thanks, man, appreciate it.
Raymond Hanneman, second place here in the All-Star race. A consolation prize, I guess. Brandon Moore is next. He finishes third here tonight. He's running down Hanneman there in the latter stages. Almost had him, but let's see what he has to say about his third place finish. Brandon, it's Steve with Track Limits. You there?
Yeah, we got you.
Brandon, congratulations, man. A third place finish after an 18th place start. You had a fast race car. We knew that was going to be the case. You were working your way through the field very early once we got rid of the chaos that was ensuing in the early stages of this thing. But last handful of laps, you and Raymond Hanneman really going toe-to-toe, throwing haymakers at each other, trying to, well, either pass each other or even catch Matt Sisler. What was the difference maker in this one at the end? It seemed like even though you guys were battling, you were still running Matt down.
Well, we wasn't really trying to battle. I was just trying to push him and get the runs off on the exits of the corner and give the pushes that we needed to, to track him down. I was committed to pushing him to a win if that's, what it meant, help the teammate out. But we just ran out of laps. I was hoping we get a late caution, so I didn't want to pit early, but the call was pit early, take 2, because I had the most fuel out of just about anybody. I only had to take like 5 gallons of fuel, so as soon as they put 4 on it or 2 on it, been gone. We wouldn't been waiting on fuel. But yeah, I think we ran good. A couple more laps, we could have got one of our cars a win, but I think we ran good. Take with it.
Certainly an impressive run to watch. Made it exciting there at the end. Next week, though, Phoenix Raceway. We get back to points racing. How do you prepare for Phoenix Raceway in that unique layout?
Phoenix has its own, little challenges, especially since had the reconfiguration many years ago. We got that, the dog leg, who's going to use it, who's not, it's a cool little racetrack. I like it, kind of, it's big, but kind of has that short, track feel to it in a way. We should run good there. I'm hope to play at least, run top 3.
All right, Brandon. Well, again, job well done here tonight. Who do you want to shout out to?
I just want to thank all my teammates. I want to thank the broadcast booth. I want to thank the admins who put this show on, all the sponsors, all that kind of fun stuff. And thank all the drivers. And yeah, had a lot of fun tonight. Look forward to Phoenix, and hopefully we have similar pace and results.
Certainly looking forward to it, Brandon. Congratulations. 3rd place here tonight. Good luck next week.
I appreciate you.
Brandon Moore, 3rd place here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the All-Star Race. That'll do it for the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to Matt Sisler, Raymond Hanneman, and Brandon Moore. Carson Youngblood came home in the 4th spot. 5th was Austin Walton. Johnny DePasquale came home P6. Chris Stange was 7th. Scott Stockel was 8th. Vincent Short, didn't see much of him till really the beginning. He was fast, but 9th place for the Track Bar Motorsports number 15. Would have loved to see him get out in clean air late. See what he could have done with these guys, but Nathan Line comes home 10th. Kerwin Marshall was 11th. Chris Pieria was 12th. Juan Linares was 13th. Further down the line, Blake Hochschild was 14th. Darren Jones, 15th. Tom Janikowski was 16th. Jason Aranchak finishes in the 17th spot. 18th went to Don Canwright, who's had troubles tonight right from the outset. Dustin Rogerson led late, but big mistake trying to come to pit road. Tried to keep it off the racetrack to avoid a caution and had a hellacious wreck into the turn 1 of the Roval. Don't know how he ended up in there, but nevertheless, 19th place finish for the 23. Jim Treat was 20th. Ben Smith was 21st. Michael Thorne 22nd. Jackson West was 23rd. And last but not least, in the 24th position was the 18 of Rance Tatro. That'll do it for us here tonight. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I'm glad whoever stuck with us, I'm glad you did. And you should be too, because that was one hell of a race at the end. You got to see something special. Once we cleaned up the cautions, this thing ran great all the way to the end after I think it was caution number 6 in the first, maybe 45 laps, and maybe it wasn't. But you guys put on a good show. So I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you talking to me in the stream chat, helping me out with things. A lot of different stream chatters in here tonight. Some names I haven't really seen, I don't think. Robin Dunn was one of them. Let's see, Caden Marshall Hunt, Austin Boyum, bunch of different names in there tonight. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it more than you know. It absolutely helps, especially if we've got a snoozer of a race. We certainly did not tonight, but it helps when you guys are there chatting it up on it, and it's a good thing, so keep it up. Before we go, make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Help us out there. Hit the thumbs up. That's free to do, and it helps the league. It helps the channel. It's a good thing all around. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Don't hit it if you already have, because it'll just unsubscribe you, and then you'll miss all those fun updates. But that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching here tonight. I'm going to stop rambling. We'll see you guys at Phoenix. Thanks for watching.